Hey yo, guys. My name is Sanele and I'm back again with a very, very serious video. And in this one here, we're discussing Somalians and Ethiopians in South Africa. Why they're winning. Why we find so many spaza shops in our locations and why these guys are there. They're actually growing, you understand? I remember when I was reading a book. I think it was back, like I think 3 years back. I read a book called Capitalist Nigger, and I'll suggest that book to everybody watching this. Please go read that book. It's called Capitalist Nigger, and if you read that book, you'll understand how the Chinese and how we see Ethiopians and Somalians coming into South Africa and winning. You understand? But what I've been observing, and obviously I also have some friends who are Somalians, and it's something that I've learned from them, how they operate, how they do their business and all that. What they do is, firstly, we all know the importance when it comes to business, the importance of buying things in bulk. You understand? It all goes with discount, the connections you make while buying and all that. They form a very, very strong relationships with suppliers throughout KZN, throughout Joburg, throughout Eastern Cape and all the provinces, you understand? And once they get a spot, let's say they get a spot, sorry man, somebody was passing, so I had to give them some attention. So once they find a spot, let's say they find a spot in a KwaMashu, in KZN, KwaMashu. KwaMashu is in Durban. It's a very, very big township or location in Durban, you understand, like Umlazi and stuff. So let's say a brother from Somali staying in Durban, they'll actually take a tour, they'll actually take a public taxi just to go and have a look in the location, you understand, and how things are going, you understand? And they'll actually do their own survey, you understand? They don't even mind. They'll spend a week not opening any shop, observing what's going on there, you understand? And once they get a shop, they'll make sure that they get a good location. Trust me, they get a good location. In a corner, in a corner next to a car wash, where it's busy. That's where they start. Or that's where they've always started, because, we cannot do anything as citizens. These guys are already here. They're not going anywhere. They actually have their own kids now with Osis Betu, you understand? And imagine we're even giving kids in Anzabu, we're giving them names, we're calling them Abu Abdulokushe. You understand? It's so funny, but and I respect these guys. They're very, very, they're very, very hustler mindsets oriented. You understand? They hustle a lot, you understand? And I respect them. You understand? So now let's go back to how they do this. So when they find that spot next to a car wash or next to a taxi rank, what they'll do is they'll come in with their own unique prices, right? With their own prices. They'll come in, they'll give you a ukwai, they'll sell ukwai for 50 cents. You understand? They're very, very good at creating their own markets and bringing in people with their prices, because obviously they buy in bulk. So, see, in a amateur shop, in our locations, it's a shop of Umamkiz, it's a shop of Madlamini, or it's a shop of Ubabzondi. They cannot compete with these guys because of our prices. That what has been happening throughout the years, you understand? That's why these guys are winning so much. You understand? And they're here, they're not going anywhere. So what they do, or what they did was, because they're still doing it. So when they come into an area, they get those stuff which are going, like Ukwai. All right. So they get things like ukwai, they get things like cigarettes, they get things like chips, the snickers, the smaller things that in our local shops we pay 150. But they'll come and be like, hey, we're selling this for 1 rand. Obviously, they're taking away your customers. So when they do that, they got you, right? So what will happen from there is they created their own market, they're manipulating now. It's a monopoly game, right? Remember. So once they have their own customers now, what they do is they already have that spot in one corner. What they do is, let's say, we even give them igama, we even give them their own names. We call them mhlampe Usolo, we give them Alfred, we give them whatever name, and they accept it. While they're accepting the name, they start learning your language. They start learning Zulu, Xhosa, or whatever. You understand? Once they learn the language, what they do is they call their own friends and be like, hey, there's another spot in this area. That's how they grow. And I understand, like spider web, they create their own spider web, Nyana kind of a thing, their own location. I call my brother, I'm here, I call my brother, I put them in the other corner, I call my brother, you understand? That's how they grow. Remember, now they're buying in bulk. So before calling his brother, he already has stock for this other tuck shop in his existing tuck shop. So there's already stock in bulk for this other tuck shop, you understand? So that's how they grow, that's how they beat us. And we can learn a lot from these guys, but so how humble they are. It's very, very important when you come into an area, you create your own market, you learn the language so that you can connect with people, you become friendly. But these guys are so friendly. Imagine we now fight for them, you understand? Whenever their shop break in, you understand? When there are people who are breaking into their shops, we are there to support them because of the relationships that they've created with us, you understand? So I just wanted to share my observation from these guys, how they are growing. You understand? Because they've taken over. You can go anywhere. You can go into Soweto, Bafeso. I'm in KZN right now. You go into Soweto, you will find these guys, Somalians, Ethiopians, having amatak shops, having spaza shops. You go to Eastern Cape, you will find them. You go to Cape Town, I'm 100% sure you'll find them. They've mastered this thing, Wafetu, and please, just go read the book, A Capitalist Nigger, and I promise you guys, if we can become one as South African citizens in whatever we do, let's learn from these guys, Wafetu. We can, trust me, we can even win these fights of load shedding if we can just become one, like how these guys are one. You understand? These guys, they've dominated. Go to any CBD area and see shops. Right now, these guys are here to compete with Mr. Price. They're opening fancy clothing shops. Because they buy in bulk. They buy from China. I don't know how they buy from China, from Alibaba, I don't know. But what I know is they buy in bulk as a group. Because imagine if we are five and we're contributing like 20,000 rand each individually, that's only like 100,000. We buy from Alibaba, we start small. One shop goes to another shop, you understand? Let us learn from these guys instead of us calling them Abu Abdulogu and stuff, you understand? Trust me, these guys are here to change everything. Okay? So they've already changed our societies there too, you understand? Amatak shops where we buy bread, those are not South African owned. We go work, we get our money from our bosses. We take that money, we give it to Somalians, Ethiopians and stuff by buying bread. You understand? The basic necessity things that we need, milk, you understand, sugar, we buy from foreigners. So our economy is not growing. Their economy is growing. So now what they're doing is, I've been to Durban and observing how this, they call it res for my students. Most of our res are owned by Chinese and Somalians in Durban. Trust me, go there and just do your own observation and ask people around. Our student residents in Durban are owned by our Chinese and Somalians. Having said that, guys, please just go read the book, Capitalist Nigger. And if you find any value, please subscribe, and I'll see you on another video. Thank you.